What's going on, YouTube and Facebook? Jason Pantana here, excited for round 2 of Marketing Stream. Hey, if you're jumping on the live feed real quick, just give me a comment if you're on YouTube or Facebook, whichever it is. Just drop a comment so I know who's here, who's watching and who's here. And here's my goal. I got 10 questions that I gathered over the last few days, and they're the 10 that I think are the most relevant. We'll talk some about video marketing. We'll talk about social media marketing. We'll talk about ads and retargeting and different marketing factors. But again, welcome. I'm glad you're watching. I got a few of you watching now. Just if you're jumping on, just drop a comment, say hi, tag a friend who you want to watch with you. And by all means, I'm going to get through my preloaded questions first, and then I'm going to try to answer some questions here too. Hey, Heather Klontmaker, how are you today? Nice to see you. If you don't follow Heather, Heather is a rock star agent in West Michigan and does a killer job with email marketing, social media marketing, and she's just an awesome agent. So make sure you connect with Heather Klontmaker. All right, so let's jump into it. I want to use everybody's time, including mine, as wisely as possible today. And I want to kind of just reiterate, this is my second attempt at this marketing stream. And my goal is to once a week, at least once a week, do a Q&A. Where did this come from? Well, it's frankly because I get a lot of messages, and I love these messages on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and elsewhere, asking usually pretty technical marketing questions or pretty strategic marketing questions, some of which are harder to answer, like when I'm typing with my thumbs or whatever. And so it does better if I have the ability to just like do a show like this. I got Mohammed. What's going on, Mohammed? How are you, good sir? Thank you for saying I look cool. You look cool, no doubt about it. All right, let's jump in. First question, I'm going to pull up the question so you can see them on the screen. This one came in a while ago. I'll kick it off. This was a Facebook question from REALTORS. She said, can I connect my Instagram account to 2 of my Facebook pages, or is it limited to one Facebook page? Please advise. And so, Marie, here's the answer. Technically, you can only hook up one Facebook page to your Instagram. But if you say it like that, you're actually looking at it backwards because Facebook came first, right? It's what came first, the chicken or the egg. Facebook did because Facebook owns Instagram. And so you could, just in practice, you could hook up lots of different Instagram accounts to one Facebook page, but you cannot hook up lots of different Facebook pages to one Instagram account. It doesn't work that way. Typically, I'm imagining due to billing, because one of the reasons that you would hook up a business, first and foremost, you'll want to typically swap to an Instagram business profile of some type. When you do that, it'll convert it over to syncing up with a Facebook page. And it wants to do that usually because it gives you the ability to run ads or promoted posts and stories on Instagram when you swap to a business profile. But they connect to your page really for money, typically. So let me give you some workarounds. I imagine, Marie, what you're really looking to do is auto sync. So I want to post it on Instagram as home base, and I wanted to sync here, there, and everywhere to multiple different Facebook pages. And there is a company called Zapier, or Zapier, depending upon how you like to say it. That's Zapier. And you can set up what's called a Zap, which what that would do is it's just kind of a connective piece. Zap just helps different softwares talk to each other. And so what it would do is it would take that post from Instagram and it would distribute it to whatever Facebook pages you'd specify, or you could get a different service like HootSuite, HootSuite, or Buffer, or Planoly, or Later Media, or Sprout Social. Those are all like scheduled posting services. You could connect your pages and the content could be told where it's going to go here, there, and everywhere. But the short answer, well, it's really a long answer, but the short answer to your question is no, you can't do more than one page connected to an Instagram account, but you can connect more than one Instagram account to a page. I hope that offers some help. I appreciate the question. And again, check out Zapier, or check out like HootSuite or a tool like that. All right. And by the way, I'm just going to check the chat again. If you're here watching and you haven't said hello, say hello. My objective here is to do this consistently, to keep answering more questions, to keep helping provide value in terms of the marketing you're doing. To grow your business, to grow your team, to grow your organization, whatever that looks like. All right, back to questions. And I want to leave some time, so be thinking about what you want to ask. Put it in the comments. I'd love to answer what I can. All right, number 2. This one comes from Agent Irma on Instagram. This one came in through my Instagram stories, which, by the way, if we're not connected, Jason Pantana is the name. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'd love to connect with you on any of those channels. I monitor all those channels. I am typically fielding these questions. I don't know if you're watching me on Instagram, but I'm using stories with that little story sticker for Ask Me Anything. And that's where I'm sort of grabbing these questions over the weekend usually. So make sure that you're tuning into my Instagram account if you want to have questions that you want to make sure get answered when I do the show. All right, here we go. Question number 2 from Agent Irma. What types of ads should we make for funnels? Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, etc. Which, first and foremost, if that's a new expression to you, top, middle, bottom of funnel, I want you to picture an upside down triangle. There's my best visual of it, right? With 3 layers, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. That's a very common illustration used in sales and marketing businesses. And it's designed to talk about, like, top of funnel means lowest intent, really just kicking the tires, thinking about it. Middle of funnel means growing intent, I-N-T-E-N-T. There's some interest to buy or sell a product or a service or whatever it is you do in your business, but they're in a research phase. They're in a consideration phase. And then bottom of funnel is really reserved for leads that are in market. We would call those in-market leads, meaning they're in the market to buy, they're in the market to sell, or whatever it might be depending upon your field. So the question here is, what types of ads should we make for funnels? Top, middle, bottom of funnel. And here's what I would say to you. Like, for lead gen, I would try just in general for real estate agents. And I'm going to talk specific to more real estate professionals right now. That's mostly who I connect with. I would talk about like home search ads. Especially now, what we've seen on Facebook is a lot of big time advertisers have pulled their money out of Facebook, which means the ads are typically a little bit cheaper than they are normally. But the truth is they're usually pretty cheap anyways. Especially in our industry. So that would mean home search ads on Facebook, whereby I click the button on the ad on Facebook, and then it goes to whatever website I have, like my IDX website where people can search for homes. So it could be stop scrolling, start searching, find your dream home in whatever area it is. And if people are searching, or if they have the desire to search, they'll click that ad. Now, it doesn't have to be a Facebook ad. You could run this ad on YouTube, on Google search, on Yahoo, on Bing, wherever you want, right? Instagram, it could be run on Snap. You get to decide where the ad runs. It could be LinkedIn. You get to decide where the ad runs. I will tell you, typically, Facebook tends to produce more top of funnel leads versus, say, for instance, Google search. Google search tends to produce more of a middle of the funnel lead. And the reason behind that is simply because most Google ads are triggered by keywords that are searched. So in other words, I'm not going to see your ad unless I'm on Google usually, and I search homes for sale in whatever area it is. And so there's intent in that, right? I was researching it. I was looking for that information versus on Facebook, for instance. On Facebook, it's more like I'm scrolling, I'm searching, and then somebody all of a sudden just says, you want to look at homes? And I say, okay, sounds like a good time. So there's usually a lower intent behind coming out of Facebook to a website to search for homes versus like Google search. But again, you asked the question, what are some ads to make? Home search ads, right? Home search ads have worked and will continue to work. I wrote down a couple of notes here when I was prepping. I also wrote down buyer and seller seminars. Right now, we're seeing, like, I'm a Tom Ferry business coach, and in our ecosystem of clients, we're seeing massive success with agents who are conducting like webinars, basically. They're typically using a tool like Zoom to host those webinars. I mean, I guess it could be like Skype or something else or Google Hangouts, but really Zoom appears to be the best format or the best software for it. But they're doing all types of different seminars. They're doing first-time homebuyer seminars. They're doing upsizing or downsizing seminars. They're doing should I live in the burbs or downtown seminars. Should I rent or should I own? How to renovate a property seminars. If I want to build my own house on a plot of land seminars. If I want to buy new construction seminars. And so we're seeing agents in our ecosystem have really just incredible success with doing seminars. I've been telling personally my clients that I coach, I've been saying seminars for me right now are the new open house. And what I mean is you do them every week and you have a specific process for how you run the promotion of them and how you work the system and all that kind of stuff. Like it's like an open house in the sense of weekly cadence. But I would say be running ads on Facebook and Google and elsewhere for seminars of the different topics. You could do the same topic every week. You could vary up your topics week by week. You could pre-record the topic and just let it roll on some kind of a Calendly schedule. I also wrote down for different ads, different funnels, virtual open houses, which again could be Zoom. It could be a link to a Matterport home tour, whatever. Just listed ads are still doing extremely well. Just listed ads have always historically been the best performing ad in the real estate industry. And all it is I got a new listing, just listed, click the link for all the details, or click the button on Facebook, for instance, to go get all the details. It then redirects to a landing page or to your website where all the details are listed. And it will typically force a registration on the website, or it could be done as a lead form on Facebook. But the point is, like you're asking the question from a lead gen standpoint, what ads work? And I would say to you so far, it's like home search ads, virtual seminars that you're doing ads, and I would say virtual open house ads and just listed ads. I also wrote down, what else did I put? Giveaways. We're seeing a lot of people having success with what we're calling good-hearted giveaways. That's not necessarily for lead gen. That's more for growing your following. But if you want to see some awesome giveaways, I would check out what FAR Group Northwest is doing. FARR Group NW on Instagram. They do just a stellar job with giveaways. And those would be really the things. And then I would also talk about, let me see what else I listed here. Oh, downloadable guides, how to sell without showings, those types of details, right? The virtual buyer process, how to buy a property without seeing it in person. If you could create PDF downloads and run ads on Facebook or elsewhere where they can download those guides, man, what does it mean if somebody says, let's pretend you made a PDF and it was how to sell without showings. And then you ran an ad on Facebook. Let's pretend it was a lead form ad. And then somebody had to click, just for instance, they had to click the button and then they could download it as a lead form. So it says your name, number, email address when they click the button. They give that information over and then they can download the PDF. What it tells me is they have intent. So for lead gen, Agent Irma, that's some ideas. Now, if you're just trying to build brand, then it boils down to what content are you producing on a regular basis. And I would say right now, like community-focused content, knowledge broker-focused content is going to go a long way. And I would simply just push the boost button, target your area, and call it a day. So those are some different ads I'd be looking at. Mostly I was talking about, like I'm looking at your question, I was mostly talking about Facebook and Instagram in terms of these sorts of ads. Let's go back to the chat for a second. Hey, I got some new people watching. Hi, what's going on? Oh, FAR Group. FAR Group's commenting in. Speak of the devil, there they are. There's an app called IFTTT, which stands for if this, then that, and it posts to multiple platforms at a time. Yep. So IFTTT is similar to Zapier, same kind of a thing, but they're awesome. There's another one out there that Microsoft makes, and I can't think of what it's called offhand. But these are basically like, there's an app called IFTTT. You can Google that. And FAR Group, I'm assuming this is probably Krista who's watching right now. Could be Aaron. Hi. That's an awesome solution. These tools, IFTTT and Zapier, have way more use than just posting your content on lots of different platforms at once. They can be kind of the connective tissue that can help lots of different software and tools that you have that don't talk be able to sync up and talk. So I would look at those. Again, if you're just watching, give us a heart, give us a like, let us know you're here, tag a friend, ask a question, offer some advice. Y'all are the best. Let me get back to my questions. Let's go to question number 3. This one comes in and asks, what type of content do you suggest for realtors to be creating right now? And that's a big question, right? Because the thing I keep in mind is a lot of agents have stalled out on the sidelines, and sometimes it's for reasons beyond their control, right? They've got kids at home and they're trying to juggle and they're trying to find balance in their schedule. So it's not by their fault. But other agents have stepped off and said, whoa, I'm just going to wait. I think I'm going to wait and see how all this shakes out. I'm not sure what to say. And I find that for agents in a position who don't know what to say, that's grounds for how they end up doing nothing. And then they're going to be in a position where their brand is losing altitude. They're losing engagement. They're losing their voice in the marketplace. And so I love this question. What type of content do you suggest for agents, for realtors to be making right now? And I wrote down a few ideas. And then, by the way, when this thing posts, when it's done, I've got all my answers right here. You can't see any of that. They're all right there. I'll post that on YouTube and on Facebook as well. So you can have that, my shorthand comments, and kind of gauge, if you're going to watch this in replay, you can kind of gauge where you might want to jump in and out of it based upon the questions that matter to you the most. All right, here's what I wrote down. I said market updates. That's the first thing. Like, I've talked to so many agents and they say, I've never done a market update. Do one, right? When this whole thing started, I was seeing a mistake. I was seeing a lot of agents give advice that was beyond the scope of what they had the authority to be giving. Like, I was seeing agents talk about best practices like washing your hands and stuff like that, and how to avoid transmitting a virus. And I was like, you know what? That's really not what you should be telling the world to do, because that's not our scope of expertise. But what is your scope of expertise? And the answer there is, well, you're agents. You're licensed by your state, your province. You're experts at local real estate in your marketplace. And that goes a long way, because there are plenty of people who are telling the public what's happening in real estate at a very large, broad level, and they're not local experts like you are. And so I think market updates is video content I be producing now. Now, ideally, I say video content. It doesn't have to be video, but I would say video content would go the furthest. And if you need some resources, I would look at Keeping Current Matters. They provide a super great, affordable product, and it gives you more of a macro viewpoint of what's happening in housing from an economic standpoint. However, you can add your own, and this is what it means locally, kind of twist, and it would really help you out. But I would think I know market updates are going a long way. I'm thinking of John Grauman in Beverly Hills. John's doing a killer job right now of just always doing is propping the phone up like this. He's got some nice light. He's not even using a microphone. He's just talking into the phone, and he's talking about the market, and he's giving a perspective, and he's being a knowledge broker, and it's leading to referrals and growth in his team and a lot of great benefits. So my thought is, first and foremost, market updates. I also wrote down expert interviews. So these could be interviews with people who are in your industry or not in your industry. It could be loan officers, title, those types of people, attorneys. It could be other agents in different marketplaces. It could be people who have nothing to do with your field at all. It could be personal fitness coaches, it could be nutritionists, could be marriage counselors, just different people who have a scope of knowledge and expertise beyond yours. And I would say creating interviews with them right now would go a long way. Ideally, once again, these would be videos. However, they could be like the old Q&A kind of like blog post where it's, I asked this question, here's their answer. I asked this question, here's their answer. So it could be written in a blog format, but again, this is a video world, so I would take it to video. Weekly info-packed emails is another thing to be doing with your content. So just info-packed, be the knowledge broker, repurpose all the content you're making for Facebook, Instagram, and elsewhere. Just repurpose it and make sure it's getting out to everybody through a weekly email. I would also be doing like virtual tours. So using Matterport, iSpy 360, the Ricoh Theta V camera. I know these may be new terms to you. If you're a realtor, I'm guessing you've probably heard about them just because virtual tours have become very popular lately. But I would say if you have not yet embraced virtual tours for your listings and whatnot, there's some cool media. I've seen some agents doing some amazingly innovative things and resourceful things with virtual tours. I've seen agents running ads with virtual tours where it's a click the button to go access the tour, and they're lead generating by capturing emails and phone numbers to do that. I've also seen it whereby they have the virtual tour, say it's a Matterport, but the way in which they're administering or showing that tour is actually on Zoom. They just share their screen. So it's a guided walkthrough that they're in control of. I've seen it done lots of different ways, but I would say as far as different types of content, like that's your question to be made now, virtual tours. Let me rattle off the rest of what I've got here. Good-hearted giveaways, which I mentioned just a moment ago, but giveaways, really, like I've seen, and here's the trick with giveaways. And again, I would look at the FARs because they do an awesome job. They're in the comment thread, and I had their handle up a minute ago, FAR Group Northwest. The key to these things is local appeal to the giveaway. So like I've seen a lot of people give away like Amazon gift cards and stuff like that, which are awesome, and they give away for great reasons, but it attracts an audience outside of your local marketplace. And if you're trying to gain followers and influence in your local marketplace, good-hearted giveaways means I'm going to give something to charity or it's for a good cause, that kind of a thing. But it would be attached to like something that's of appeal to people who live in a certain area. So it could be certain tickets or things along those lines. Now, as I talk about giveaways, just make sure you know the rules in terms of like, we don't do raffles. Know what the rules are as far as your license is concerned, as far as your local regulations are concerned, and also as far as like Facebook and Instagram regulations are concerned. I was dealing with a client this morning who tried to promote a giveaway and did not realize it got rejected, and didn't realize that the reason it was rejected is because Facebook and Instagram give you a specific blurb where they want you to say in the caption, they're not associated with it. And he didn't know that, he didn't do that. And so it got rejected. He didn't know why it got rejected, but he was actually violating their policies. He just didn't know what that policy was. So giveaways are smart, just know the rules around them. And then I also talked about just virtual seminars here once again. I talked about those before, but again, virtual seminars are great content to be making right now. All right, let's jump back to the chat. Have you guys said anything? Looks like we got some new comments. All right, I'm going to come back to Jason's question in the comments there a little bit later. So just hang on, Jason. I'll circle back to that at the end, okay? All right, let's jump back to the next preloaded questions here. All right, here we go. This one comes from Angus. Angus is in South Africa. He said, I'm getting the likes on the post on Instagram, but no new followers. Are people adding to Instagram PA? And I'm not sure what he means by the Instagram PA, but are people adding this? Here's what I want to get at with this. I'm not getting likes. What I would want to know, sorry, I am getting likes. I'm not getting new followers. So it sounds like it's your existing followers, Angus, who are liking the comment, liking your posts. And so I would need that to be confirmed. But here's what I would say. If you want to get new followers, again, I'm operating under the assumption that the people who are currently liking your post are your existing followers. If you want new followers, you need to optimize your content. Now, more than anything, what matters the most is good content. What do people who would follow you want to see and hear when they visit your page? What would make it worthwhile to them to want to follow that page? There's some kind of information or your personality or something that brings them either entertainment value or information value. There's some value for them that would warrant them saying, follow this page. And to do that, it means good content. And the more good content I produce, the better, because if I'm producing on a frequent basis, that's going to reinforce the need to follow so I don't miss notifications. But other things you can do to optimize. One, make good use of hashtags. If you want to navigate to my my Instagram profile, there's a post where I talk about hashtag hacking, and there's some pros and cons. But I would say getting smarter on your hashtags on Instagram is a way to find a bigger, wider audience. For me personally, I can access 30 to 50% of the people who are seeing my posts are seeing it because of my hashtags and not because they follow me. So what that means is one of the widest nets I cast to bring in new eyeballs who are seeing my content is through the smart use of hashtags. Now, that's the most applicable on Instagram. But if you want to go to my Instagram profile, scroll down for a while back, it was called hashtag hacking. I talked about 6 different, categories of hashtags. It was location-based hashtags, interest-based hashtags, branded hashtags, things like that. Go look for that post, Angus, and read the caption. I put a lot of details in the caption about which hashtags to use on Instagram. But I would say out of the gate, my best idea for growing your Instagram is A, a lot of content often, good content. B is hashtags can be a really easy gateway to a new audience. And the third thing I would say is location tagging. A lot of people are paying attention to posts that are happening nearby them. So I would just make sure to tag your location inside the marketplaces where you want to foster new business. All right, that's Angus. Let's jump over to the next one. This one comes from Marco, and he just said landing pages. Now, in fairness, I said what topics or questions, and he's giving me a topic to discuss, which is landing pages. So first, let's talk about different companies that can, what is a landing page? Let's start with that. A landing page is just a web page. It's just a web page. It's any web page. And if you go to a website, like let's say I go to www.domain.com, that's the home page. And if I go to www.domain.com/about, I'm going to an about page. I could argue, or /contact, I could argue that that's a landing page, right? Why? Well, because there's a URL, www.domain.com/contact. We call that a deep link that I could use in an ad. I could send someone directly to that deep link. So a landing page is just a page, a web page on which you land, right? Now, there's a bit more to it. The implication of a landing page is that it's designed for lead generation. So it's some type of a dedicated page where there's typically an offer made. I'll give you this in exchange for I want your contact information. So that's a landing page. It could be any page on your website. It could be like, for example, if you have an IDX website where people are searching for homes, it could be, hey, give me, if you want to save this search, give me your info. Well, that makes that a landing page. It could also be like a separate tool. A lot of people use these home valuation types of landing pages. There's Cloud CMA, Home Value Leads. There's all these different providers for those types of landing pages. and they're not part of your main website. They're just extra pages, other domains you might own. But there are landing page companies like Listings to Leads sells landing pages, amongst other things. UnBounce specializes in landing pages. What else? ClickFunnels, which is Russell Brunson's company, does landing pages. So there are companies that just do landing pages, just so we're clear, and for varied reasons. A lot of landing pages are sign up for a free consultation, or sign up and I'll give you this PDF to download, or sign up and you'll get this thing from me. There's, again, a landing page is a web page where there's usually an offer made in exchange for contact information. That's the baseline. You can get access or a download or something based upon giving over your contact information. Let's see. I do want to throw some interesting facts at you that I was researching on this. There was a study where Walmart was able to improve the load time of their web pages. And Walmart found that for every second their website loaded faster, for every second it loaded faster, it improved their conversion on their ads by 2%. So a couple of things to think about. If you're running ads on Facebook or Google or YouTube or whatever, and you're driving them to your website, I would ask the question of your developer, how fast is my website loading? And what can I do to make it go faster? Because that can increase my conversion. I mean, Walmart saw a 2%, now it's retail, it's e-commerce, but it's a 2% rate of 2% increase in conversion. To me, that's pretty nuts. Now, you should also be monitoring your conversion rates. Like, for example, I know what a lot of agents are doing right now when it comes to their buyer-seller seminars. They're doing a buyer-seller weekly seminar. They're creating an ad on a post on Facebook with a Zoom link, and then they might boost it. But I click the link to go to Zoom, right? So that technically would make it a link click ad. And then Zoom, if you're paying for Zoom, you can require registration, which means that they can give over an email address, for instance. And so because of that, Zoom itself, that Zoom link itself becomes a landing page because it's trying to get, hey, I'll give you access to this meeting if you give me your contact information, name, number, email, whatever you ask for, right? Well, a lot of agents are like, is that performing okay? And there's an easy way to monitor it. It really boils down to how many people are going to the landing page. Landing pages typically associate with ads because I'm trying to measure, hey, here's my ad. It's on a major platform like Facebook or Google or YouTube or whatever. I put the ad there because that's where I think people's attention is. And I'm paying to try to get them to leave there and come over here to my website, my landing page, right? So I run the ad on Facebook, and let's say that I spend $1 per click, and I spend then $100. So I got 100 people to click over to my landing page, and let's pretend it was Zoom for a second here. Well, all I have to do is know how many people registered. So what we're looking for is conversion. I sent this many people from the ad to the page. How many people registered? Because we want to monitor that conversion rate. And I'll tell you the average, this is not industry specific, but the average rate of conversion of a landing page is about 2.35%. So in other words, if I sent over 100 people, I would expect between 2 and 3 people would actually register. Top 25% of landing pages do about 5+%. And then some can get to the 10 and 11th percentile, right? So I think what's important with landing pages, and we're just kind of talking around the subject, Marco, but what's important is that I know, how am I going to measure if this thing works or not? Because there are lots of companies that I can hire to do landing pages for me. But the question is do they work? And the way I measure is I run the ad, usually on Facebook or Instagram, that clicks them out of there to my landing page. How many people convert? That is, how many people fill out the contact form, right? So when I look at landing pages, that's the kind of stuff I'm thinking about right now. I've got a lot of my clients, when we're doing Facebook and Instagram ads, we're doing a lot of A/B testing. It's not technically A/B testing. It's like A/B testing, where we're running the same campaign, but we're making it, one time we're running it as a lead format, where the conversion happens inside of Facebook. And the next time we try it as a link click ad to see which one performs better. One of my clients, we realized that today in his campaign, the link click version was 3 times as effective in terms of lead generation and the cost he spent. So it's important. All right, let's jump over to the comments. I got some new folks jumping in. Favorite video equipment, must-haves, microphone, lighting. Abby, I love that question. I will get to that question here by the time we're done, okay? Let me just hustle through these questions that folks submitted in advance. Appreciate you guys viewing. There's a good handful of you looking on right now. So if you're there, just give me a heart, give me a like, let me know you're watching. I hope this is helpful for everybody. I hope I'm providing value in terms of your marketing, answering questions, and so forth. So give it a heart, give it a like, tag a friend. That'd be swell, everybody. It'd be so swell. All right, let me jump over to the next question. This one came from Yitzy. Yitzy Sales, Tom's River. What's up, Yitzy? Hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're watching right now. Video topics during the COVID-19 era. Great question. I'm going to just read through my notes because I want to answer this one fast because I've got some questions coming in the comments and I want to make sure they get good time. Okay. And again, I'm going to publish all my answers in the description on YouTube and in the caption text on Facebook. Here we go. Expert interviews. I talked about that a minute ago. It could be interviews with other agents, interviews with lenders, interviews with people who have nothing to do with real estate, but they're experts in some other field. That's good video content right now. Pro tip videos. Taya DeCarlo. She's in Manhattan Beach. She does a series called Taya's 2 Cents. And she just gives pro tips on things to know in real estate. Brandon Porter, he's in Oregon. It's called Real Estate with Brandon Porter. Amazing pro tips on how to win in multiple offers or how to do this or how to do that and talking about current issues and talking about the market. So I would say, Yitzy, that pro tips still have a lot of place. And the way I would field those pro tips is I would reach out to my database and say, hey, what are your top questions about real estate? I'm trying to create some video content to be helpful and start answering people's questions as pro tips. In fact, you could do a weekly live Q&A show like this one right here, right? Where you're using Instagram to elicit the questions with one of your story polls or whatever. Not polls, sorry, one of your story AMA stickers, however you want, right? But if people have questions, how can you answer those questions and give tips? So pro tips, also like check out what Ray Ellen did, Rayellen, Ray Ellen, it's Pixel Properties. He did a video called How to Search for Home from Home. It was a beautiful video. I would look at that. Yitzy, I would look at how to price a home virtually. Sean Ryan, he's in Sarnia, Lambton. If you go to his YouTube channel, Sean did an awesome video on how to price a home virtually, where it walks people through like a live demonstration of how he did it, which there may be untold numbers of people who are thinking about selling, but they're not sure how to do it in this current era. So offering them solutions, to me, is powerful, Yitzy. This one is compliments of Heather Klumpmaker, how to sell without showings. Man, if you could have that process ironed out, how to sell without showings, to me, that's stellar content. Next one is, I'm looking here for my notes, selfie style market updates. I talked about John Grauman, just grabbing the phone, talking into it, being a knowledge broker, using KCM. That's good video content right now. Listing tours, especially vacant listing tours. Make sure you're adhering to whatever the local rules are in terms of if you're able to show, if you're not able to show, just obey the rules. But man, listing tours are still great. And if you can do virtual tours, that's great content too. And then I would check out Tim Macy. Tim Macy down in San Antonio is doing a series right now called Some Good News. It's based upon John Krasinski's show that he does on YouTube, the actor. Tim's doing Some Good News San Antonio. Killer content. I'd look at that video. And then Brandon Porter made a nice video called We Are a Community. I would go to his Facebook page, Brandon Porter. He's in Newburgh, Oregon. And it's actually the cover video of his page. And it's just sort of a really kind of heartstrings, emotional, supportive, banding together type of video that he made just as a commemoration to his community, right? Because he, like I'm suspecting all of you, don't just see yourselves as agents who are slinging deals together, but as people who are building communities. I would also look at one more to list off to you guys is 30 seconds. Just make those community videos like 30 seconds. Keep them short and sweet. Okay, next question. This one came from Jody. Jody asked, best way to target a farm via online ads. Answer, YouTube. So any product that's owned by Google advertising. So go to ads.google.com. Google still has a lot more specific micro targeting options. Like you can target down to a 1 kilometer radius for any Google product, which includes YouTube ads, Google Display Network ads, Google search ads. So I would look at Google products for that level of targeting, no doubt. I would also look at Facebook and Instagram. And I know that the special ads category comes with it, this idea that I can only target a 15-mile radius, which most people are like, shucks, that's no good anymore. But the truth is, Facebook ads have always performed better when you give them a wider audience, always. Yet I can understand you want to target your farm, Jody. So what I would say is, look, when you're targeting your farm with a Facebook ad, for instance, one, make the content hyper specific to that farm. Make it so that it's about people who are in that area. And if you're not in that area, it doesn't really apply to you. That's the first thing. And I'll come back to why that is. And then I would also, when you run the ad and you're in the ads manager of Facebook, at the campaign level, Facebook makes you choose what's your objective for this campaign. And you can choose like reach and awareness and things like that. I would recommend choosing one of these two: video views or traffic. Traffic means I'm going to drive traffic to a different web page. Video views means we're optimizing for video views. And the reason is when you get to the budget section, there's a little button that says show more options. And it's just for those. There's only three. There's conversions, traffic, and video views. These are the three. When does Facebook charge you is typically a question I answer pretty often. Facebook charges you when you're running an ad for impressions. What are impressions? Impressions are anytime my post gets seen, regardless if somebody likes it, hearts it, comments, shares, engages, video view, whatever. It's just they scrolled past and my ad showed up in their feed, period. Facebook bills for impressions. However, if your campaign is traffic, your campaign objective is traffic, video views, or conversions, in the budget section of the ads manager, you can edit when you get billed, and you can change it for traffic. You can charge it only when I get a link click. So in other words, only when I get the action I'm paying for. They click the button, right? That goes to my website. Or with video views, I can make it so that I'm only being billed if they watch what's called a through play. So what that does is it helps reduce the financial strain of, man, I'm targeting an area. It's a 15-mile radius. It's really expansive. I really just want to target this little area. Well, I've made content, A, that's super specific to only that area. And B, I've changed my billing so that I'm only paying for results. Meaning if it's super specific content and somebody clicks the link, that would imply that it was content they wanted to see. If they watch the video, it's content they want to see. You see how that's working? So they're kind of going hand in glove. And then there's one more thing. Facebook deploys a super powerful learning algorithm when you run ads. Their objective is to help you get your campaign objective. So if you said you want link clicks, they're going to help you get that. If you said you want engagement or whatever the objective was, they want to help you get that. But what I would do is in the description, the caption of your ad, when you're building out the ad itself, I would use language that essentially tells Facebook who it's for. So I would say things like searching for a home, ? Home searching right now, ? Looking to sell a house right now, those types of language patterns, because in essence, you're telling Facebook, show my ad to these types of people to whom this is relevant, because the ad goes through a review, but it goes through a learning phase for its first 24 hours of existence. And so if you can help subconsciously direct that algorithm, it can help you find the right people. So I would still say, Jody, Facebook ads are a killer way to be targeting in your farm. Let's go to Brian's question. Brian said, how would you start marketing if you're in a new city? Depends. Are you a new agent or an experienced agent? If I'm an experienced agent and I'm expanding into a new city, I'm going to check equity. I'm going to do what I always do and what I've been doing, and I'm going to just kind of pick it up and move it to that city. If I'm a new agent, one idea, Brian, may be virtual open houses. I would reach out to agents in your firm and see, hey, can I host virtual open houses? Do you have a Matterport tour? Or depending upon the rules in my city, could I go to the listing and do it virtually, right? That'd be a way to run ads on Facebook, lead generate for people to sign up, and then get to know them through the process. That would be just one idea, is marketing in a new city. Beyond that, I would just say, be the knowledge broker. Create videos, do the stuff I've been talking about, position yourself in front of people in the marketplace, and they're going to come to know, like, and trust you and want to do business with you. All right, let's jump down to Heather Klontmaker's question. That's a good one. Once the Facebook leads start rolling in, what's the follow-up plan? Emails, retargeting, etc. All right, so write this down, Heather, if you're still watching. I hope you are, or when you're watching. Number one, you need a stellar, automatically sent out, welcome, thanks for signing up type of email. Just an initial connection email. I'd like a video, ideally. So you need to put together a stellar initial outreach video. Now, I also think that it's still good practice to reach out, like text, call, follow up with the leads, try to talk to them, right? But I would say at least a really, really killer automatic video communication that comes from a standpoint of, hey, just wanted you to see my face. My name's Heather. Thanks so much for registering, yada, yada, yada. If you need anything at all, you can reach me here, here, or here. Thanks again. I'm here for you whenever the time's right. That kind of a message. I would, if they're a buyer on your website, like let's pretend they're Facebook leads, but chances are they're really website leads. They're usually, I had people on Facebook that I drove from Facebook, it's called paid traffic, from Facebook to my website where they converted. Why did they convert? Probably because they wanted to search for homes, right? They said, save this alert, or they created a custom home search or something like that, right? So I would get every buyer on custom listing alerts. So you've been searching for homes like this. Here are homes that go out automatically on a daily basis, potentially, of listings that meet those preferences, that meet those specifications. And then beyond that, I think, and you're already doing this, Heather, I know this, continue with your stellar weekly email, your value add email where you talk about the market, you repurpose content that you produced on social media and so forth. So I would put that out. I would also check out Google Display Network. So if you've ever seen those banner ads that are all over different websites as you're just surfing the web and you keep seeing banner ads, they pop up, they're on sidebars, they're long and skinny, they're tall and skinny, they have different shapes and sizes. Those banner ads show up because of the Google Display Network. So I would look at just for the putting your face in front of these people. I would put, like, I don't know that I'd be doing home search ads on those banner ads. I'd be doing more about Heather types of ads, trying to get them back to your website to learn more about you, just brand recognition more or less, but Google Display Network ads. So imagine that those are going on ongoing, that this email that's a value add email is going out weekly. They're getting listing alerts that meet whenever a listing hits the market and it meets their specifications, it pings them, right? And they've already had your onboarding email. And then beyond that, I would say create a custom audience on Facebook. And you can upload your database, all your leads and so forth, as a custom audience on Facebook. And so when you produce really great content, whatever it is, I would go into your ads manager and I would put an ad together that makes sure that these people, your leads and so forth, are seeing your best content when they're on Facebook, when they're on Instagram. So it's a multi-channel nurture plan, right? It's email marketing, it's social media retargeting, it's Google Display Network retargeting. It's those types of things so that they say to you, man, Heather is everywhere. I see your stuff everywhere. And when they're ready to go see properties or buy or talk to an agent, you'll have nurtured them to the point that they've become loyal to you. That's my 10 cents, Heather. All right, let me jump on. I got one more question, and then I'm going to go into what's in the comments. All right, here we go. Last one's from Dave Archuleta. He says, how do I do retargeting ads? I've also just connected my Facebook pixel, and I'm not sure what to do with it. All right, so let's talk about what is retargeting for a second. Retargeting, most people think retargeting means I went on Amazon's website, I looked at a Dyson vacuum cleaner, and now as I peruse the web, I keep seeing ads for that vacuum cleaner. Now, what are you seeing? You're seeing Google Display Network ads. That's what it is, right? It's all powered by the Google Display Network, but they're being used to retarget you. So retargeting, a lot of people think that these banner ads that I just talked about on Heather's question, a lot of people think that the banner ads are retargeting ads. Wrong. Retargeting can be done with, like, I can retarget with Facebook ads, with YouTube ads, with Google Display Network ads, with Google search ads. I can retarget with whatever type of ad I want. So there's targeting and then there's retargeting. So what's the difference? Retargeting means they have already somewhat engaged with some other piece of content that was trackable. So they went to my website and my Facebook pixel put cookies on their browser. I can retarget them like that. They went on my Facebook page and they engaged with it. I can retarget them like that. They went on my YouTube channel and they watched some videos. I can retarget them. They watched a certain video, right? So when I think about retargeting, what it really is to me is somewhere across some piece of content of mine in the World Wide Web, whether it was YouTube, Google, whether it was my website or Facebook or Instagram, somewhere somebody left a fingerprint that is being mined that I can then use as a list to retarget them with future content. So it's sort of like they've seen something already, they've engaged with something already, I'm going to do it again. and again and again and layered on top. That's what retargeting is. So it's not banner ads. It could be any type of ad, right? It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be YouTube, it could be any platform you want, right? That's retargeting. And you just connected your pixel. So first and foremost, he said, I've also just connected my Facebook pixel. Not sure what to do with it. All right, so I'll answer this question. I'll rephrase the question. The question is, I'm pretending, how do I use my Facebook pixel to retarget? And what is a Facebook pixel? Facebook pixel is a tool that Facebook gives you that you can put on the back end of your website, whatever it is. And it allows Facebook to monitor who is on your website. What pages did they go to? How long are they on your website? Now, to be very clear, Facebook will not tell me, hey, Bob was on your website last week for 3 days straight. Facebook's not going to violate privacy. They know it was Bob. They're not going to tell me. They become the intermediary. So what a Facebook pixel, what I can do is I go into my Facebook ads manager, facebook.com/ads manager. And then I click on, well, really your business manager. So business.facebook.com is where you'd go, Dave, business.facebook.com. I'm sort of assuming you've already created a business manager. I'm not going to get into a lot of details on that right now. You would click in the main menu navigation, you click audiences, and then it's going to give you a choice of what kind of an audience are you building. They're called custom audiences. Every custom audience, all the choices it gives you are all examples of retargeting. I could be retargeting because you watched a certain video. I could be retargeting because you engaged with any of my posts or a certain post, or you said you were going to go to one of my events. Any action you took on any of my content, for the most part, I can use to retarget you. Now, again, I don't know who you are. Facebook keeps that information under lock and vault. They just say, hey, about 100 people are on this list. You can retarget them. We'll handle the distribution of that ad you're going to run on your behalf. I don't know who they are until they tell me who they are, right? So the pixel is on your website. You're going to go into the audiences section of the business manager, and you can create a custom audience based upon website. You're going to choose the website option, and then it's going to say, hey, you can target people who have been to any page on my website, or they've been to this page on my website, or they didn't get to this page. So for example, a lot of your websites, if somebody registers, a lot of your websites will give you a thank you screen. I don't know if you've ever looked, but if you look at the URL, the browser bar at the top, that thank you screen will have a very specific link. It will say something like www.yourdomain.com/registration=complete/thanks, something like that. It's a specific link. So I theoretically, Dave, could copy that link and say, hey, Facebook, show my ad to anybody who has not seen that link, meaning they've never registered on my website. I could do combinations of they've been to this page or that page, but not this page. Thing you should also know is the pixel only allows you to retarget with people who have been on your website in the past 180 days. Just to protect privacy, they don't do anything more than that. So Dave, I would say like retargeting ads are not just limited to your pixel. They're not. It's engagement audiences too, such as they've viewed videos, they've engaged with your post and your content and your page. And there's also what's called a customer list where you can upload your own database contacts. Those are ways on Facebook and Instagram. You should also know that Google, through its Google Analytics product, has a thing called a global site tag. A global site tag. It's their version of a Facebook pixel. You want both of those on your website. LinkedIn has one that's called an insight tag. You want it on your website so that whenever you go into these platforms, you can retarget based upon people who've been on your website. But again, Dave, retargeting is more than my pixel. It's just people who have left a fingerprint, some way, somehow that I can use. They watched my content, whatever it is, and I can retarget them based upon that. Usually, I don't know exactly who they are. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google protects their private information, their identity from me, but it is being tracked. Okay, that's retargeting. All right, let me jump over to the comments. I know I'm going kind of fast. I'm trying to get as much done in an hour as possible. All right, starting with Jason. Let's put Jason up on the screen. He says, how are bottom of the funnel lead sources, ZRT, which stands for Zillow, Realtor, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, producing right now for your clients? How are they doing? Honestly, mixed feedback. In some markets, they're doing really well. In other markets, it's slowed down. I would say what I have been hearing is I think they're picking up a little bit. But I would also say that I think PPC traffic and other places like that are picking up too. I think, and this is, I don't want to get in trouble. I think Zillow might have pulled money back a little bit when all this happened on Google and Facebook, and they're now getting lead flow back up. I think their traffic's coming along. All right, let me jump to the next one. I hope that answers. That was kind of a funky answer. Let's move on. Okay. You're tagging McKay. Okay, thank you, Brittany. Appreciate that, Coach Brittany. Let's see what else we got. Sorry, I'm clicking the wrong buttons here. Eric asks, Jason, are you seeing a much higher cost for lead ads? Actually, yeah. In the past, within the last 4 or 5 days, I've seen lead ads go up. So I don't know if you've been watching me on Tom Ferry content, but I was saying that Facebook's been on sale and lead ads were extremely cheap. But sometime last week, I noticed lead ads cost per result, meaning cost per lead, went up quite a bit. But link clicks, Eric, did not. I made mention to a client this morning where we were doing the A/B test, where we tried one ad that was a lead form and one ad that was a link click, and the link click performed 3 times as good as the lead form. So I don't want to just say that lead forms aren't working, but here's what I like about Facebook ads. They show you the estimates. So you can do the math. Like you could run the ad, like not actually publish it, but you could create the ad as a link click and then create it as a lead ad and compare the results, because you should, if you're tracking and measuring, know, well, if I drive 100 people to my website, X number will convert. You should know your conversions. I can tell you in the real estate industry, per WordStream benchmarks in 2019, in the real estate industry, WordStream benchmarks, 10.67% is the mean, the average rate of conversion. Meaning if I take 100 people off of a platform and put them onto a real estate website, according to WordStream benchmarks, off of Facebook, 10.67 of those should convert, meaning they give me an email address or something to that effect. Okay, Eric, I hope that helps. So the answer is I would create the ad 2 different ways in Facebook. Once as a lead form, once as a link click. Use the estimates on the right-hand sidebar, see which one you think is going to render better results and use it. That'd be my thought. Or just do like 2 different campaigns or an A/B test. You could do that too. All right, I thought I saw a question about video gear. Oh, there it is. Abby asked a question. All right, so Abby said, favorite video equipment, must-haves, microphone, lighting. Funny you should ask about this, Abby. I've actually been buying gear right now. Just because I'm usually on the road. I'm usually speaking in front of live audiences. So I'm recognizing like this is actually a critical opportunity for me to really establish online in a virtual setting, hence why I'm going live once a week. So let's talk about gear. I've got an uplift standing desk here. This is my temporary microphone. I'm actually about to switch it out over the weekend. So it depends, Abby, if you're doing a permanent setup or like a traveling setup. So I would say if you need gear that's mobile, some of my favorites would be like the DJI Osmo 3 gimbal. It's let me grab it. I got one over here. $150. These are great for just taking your iPhone around, and they got some nice features. So the DJI Osmo Rode, RODE, makes a really great like clip-on lapel mic. I like that. Rode also makes a really nice, it's called a shotgun directional mic that goes on top of your phone when you have it in the gimbal. That's a nice microphone. And you can, of course, get like a selfie lighting ring for your phone. So I would ask the question, Abby, how are you going to be doing this? Is this like mobile? Are you going to be set up in one place and it's going to stay there? What's your intended use? For me, I'm stationary. So I've got my uplift desk that goes up and down. I've got my Mac here. This is a blue snowball mic. It's a $50 mic. It's okay. The mic I'm switching to is called a Rode, RODE, NTG2. NTG2, it's like a newscaster mic. It'll be out of frame. It's a directional mic, and it will be on a boom arm. So that's going to help with audio. And I'm going to run that mic through a piece of equipment I haven't gotten it yet. It's coming soon. I've ordered it. It's called a Rodecaster Pro. That's the audio interface I'm going to use, and it's going to help me with just upping the quality. But I think for lighting, just go to Amazon. Amazon, you can get like a kit for 50 bucks or less of softbox lights. Right now, I've got one softbox light aiming down. I've got a bunch more softboxes that I'm not using because the one is sufficient. But lighting goes a long way. Softbox lights on Amazon, they're cheap, they're easy. I would do those. There's a company called Elgato, Elgato. They make some really pretty flat panel lights. I might look at those. They make a lot of like streaming stuff that's typically made for gamers, people who like live stream themselves playing video games or whatever on Twitch or whatever platform it is. But Elgato makes some nice flat panel lights. But the softboxes are so cheap. It's hard to mess up with those. And I would also tell you the camera you get matters. I use a Logitech webcam. Most Logitech webcams are really back-ordered right now. So you might have a hard time getting a Logitech webcam due to being back-ordered. A lot of people use like a DSL, like a fancy camera, like a Canon or a Nikon or something like that. I just use webcam because it works. And I'm using StreamYard to live stream. You could use OBS to live stream. I know I'm just kind of rattling stuff off, but really what do you need for like favorite video equipment? You need good audio, good lighting, and a decent camera. And your phone's camera is phenomenal. So if you're going to go mobile, I like the gimbal and those types of things. And by the way, like if you guys are watching this and you got other gear, just chat in, throw it in the chat and say, here's the gear I use. Here's my setup. Here's links to it. Put it in as a comment, whether you're watching live or you watch later on. Okay. Let me just scroll through if there's any other comments, and I'm about to wrap it up here, I think. Okay. I think we got them all. I think we did. Okay. You guys are awesome. If you wouldn't mind, please tag some friends that you want to watch this so they see it. I'll do another one sometime, probably next week. I do have my Marketing Edge conference next week. So next week might get a little crazy, but I said I do it every week. So I'm going to do it, but it won't be on Tuesday. It's going to be on a different day. So let's connect next week. Let me how do I get those off? Sorry, I'm still learning how to use this thing. Next week, follow me on Instagram, connect with me there. Look for my stories because I put the stories up ahead of time. And that's how I'm fielding the questions. So look for those, answer those, tag a friend, list out whatever gear and equipment you're using, and have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys soon. You're the best.